hungry as hell. I've been up here 3 hours, and your stupid ass out there dressed up like a woman. I'm the woman of this house.
Show me one of your ideas that wasn't terrible, and I'll show you an idea that wasn't yours.
It's passionate. The Lord is gracious. The Lord! Oh, Black Jesus. A baby girl always steals a mother's beauty.
You know how some men are animals in bed?
Yes.
Well, I don't.
Well, I pushed him away from me. He took everything from me in that moment. When he touched me inappropriately, he took my mother, God, and my career. He insulted everything that I was, my entire foundation, for being alive.
Okay, girl, let me tell you about Jennifer Lewis. You probably think you know her, right? The loud, hilarious, tell it like it is queen from Blackish.
Can I touch your hair?
Ooh. Don't do that.
Sister Act, and practically every other show where they need a black mama with a big personality.
Look ahead. Don't you get any ideas, baby girl. I'm the only sinner in this house.
But honey, the stuff that went down behind the scenes in her life? Oh, baby, you don't know the half of it. We're talking sex addiction.
I was acting out sexually all over the place. I mean, I was Broadway star. I would always get standing ovation. Like I said, I was a fucking medium.
Getting swindled by a man she thought she loved.
He was charming, handsome. He said he had been in the Navy SEAL. I'm thinking, my God, God sent the man.
And nearly dying in Africa.
Yeah, I was in the hospital for, a little over 18 days.
Yeah, you heard that right. And did I mention she's been battling bipolar disorder this whole time?
You know, show business was easy for me, but life wasn't. You know, I was bipolar, diagnosed with bipolar disorder when I was 33 years old.
When you say was, does that mean not anymore?
Oh, no, I'm still bipolar. I'm just medicated and leveled.
Okay.
No, you all understand.
Well, buckle up, folks, because today we are diving into the dark secrets of Jennifer Lewis. With her impact in Hollywood and activism, it's clear as day that Jennifer is one of a kind. But before we hop into all that, let's get the 411 on her childhood.
I love St. Louis. I love my home. I love Kinloch.
Jennifer Lewis was born on January 25th, 1957, in Kinloch, Missouri, to a nurse aide mom, Dorothy, and her factory worker dad.
My mama didn't have time to take care of me. There was no affection. I was her 7th child, and she was 26. The hell she gonna do with 7 babies running around, scrubbing white people's floors? They have time to hold me, tell me, come here, sugar boom boom. I didn't get none of that. But what she did give me was work ethics. She stopped scrubbing white people's floors, and she went and got her certificate and became a nurse's aide. She said, I'll be damned if those white people come to my house to check it out so I can get a welfare check. You remember they used to come in there, make sure the father wasn't there. Mother was a gangster, alpha. She fed us, did whatever she had to do. The pipes would break in that cold St. Louis weather. We would ice skate on the kitchen floor, run around. You know, we didn't know. We were off welfare. She said, these motherfuckers will not tell me what to do with my life and my children. My mother didn't play. She taught me work ethics. That's why I'm still here. That's why I have sustained in show business, you see. You can't.
Jenny always shined, even as a kid. At age 5, Jenny was already smashing it in her church with her singing. And girl, did they love her.
5 years old, and the song was, oh Lord, you brought me a mighty long way. You know, what are you gonna do? But the church exploded. And I stood there at 5 years old with my thumb in my mouth. I went cross-eyed. And I said to my 5-year-old self, oh, this is life. I'll take it. I never looked back.
Despite their modest beginning, for the Lewis family, education was a priority. They all went on to bag both bachelor and advanced college degrees. And as for Jenny, she graduated from Webster College, now turned university.
And let me tell y'all a story. Okay, back then, you did your freshman year and your sophomore year, and then before your junior year, you had to go into Peter Sargent's office, and he would tell you if you could go on in the theater department, because they didn't select no riffraff. So he went out of his office when it was my turn. I can show you. Look at this. He came back in the office. I had my feet up on his desk. Oh, God. He walked in there. He said, Jennifer, are you that sure of yourself that you're going to move on in the theater department? I said, absolutely. Oh, yeah, the memories, child. They taught me. They trained me at this university. It was a college then. They trained me. They knew I was going somewhere.
Fancy. After college, Jen made the smart move and moved to New York City to pursue her dreams of becoming a star. And guess what? Girl made it happen.
High school, I was captain of the cheerleading squad. You know, I was a leader. I was a born leader. Got my first Broadway show in less than 11 days upon graduation.
Wow.
I mean, that's like your first audition.
Yeah, wow. It was my second audition, actually.
She clawed her way to Broadway and then to Hollywood, where she landed the funny, loud roles that we all love her for.
Everybody lies. Bill Clinton, Zac Efron, and don't get me started on Oprah.
But as we'll see, all that success didn't come without a whole lot of mess. Starting hot by appearing in Broadway musicals like Dreamgirls, Jen also worked as a backup singer for Bette Midler. But she wasn't satisfied with just the stage. Jenny was hungry for Hollywood, and soon enough, she did it.
I knew there was something bigger than Kinloch. I knew I had to get out. Television gave me that out. I watched television.
She was everywhere, starring in movies like Sister Act, What's Love Got to Do with It?
You heading for the club, Ellie?
Mm-hmm. Reggie gonna meet me there and wait for me until I'm ready to go.
I want you to take Anna.
Think Like a Man,
Dare you talk to my fiance like that?
You think you talking to Michael Hanno?
and many, many more. Jenny brought more than just drama to our homes. She became the go-to black mama in sitcoms and movies. You know the type. Loud, sassy, full of love, but ready to tell you off in a heartbeat. Yup, that's Jennifer. Whether as an actress or an activist, she has indeed earned her mark in the Hollywood community.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's proudly welcome to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Jennifer Lewis.
But one thing is for sure, all that fame must have a scandal or two hanging around. So while she was killing it on stage, the real drama was happening behind the scenes. Jennifer wasn't just crushing it as a Broadway star. Out of sight, her intimate life was just as busy.
I was acting out sexually all over the place. I mean, I was a Broadway star. I would always get standing ovation. Like I said, I was a meteorite. How could you not stand up? And I love that shit. It matched the mania inside of me. That was an orgasm in itself.
I mean, when you are a good-looking celebrity, everybody wants some of that cake. But for Jen, it wasn't just a little fun here and there, if you know what I mean. She was addicted to the act.
Oh, y'all, I had so much sex up in these streets. I had a sex addiction. I didn't know. You know, I was just being in my 20s, early 30s.
Yep, homegirl was out there chasing men like it was her full-time job.
No, it was a need. This was a drug.
What it felt like?
I had to have that right after I came off stage. I get me a good-looking man. He was my type.
She couldn't get enough. But I can tell you one thing, Jenny always keeps it real.
You like them red boys?
Yeah.
You like them
No, they
beige?
just a little high yellow. I liked him with the fro back then, you know, pretty lips.
Does he look like your Miguel?
Although she didn't realize it then, she was addicted. She has spoken up severally about the dangers of any type of addiction and encouraged people to always get back up and seek the help they need.
I worked through all of that. I wanted to love myself. All those strange men, in and out, literally. You know, come on now. So, yes, I'm very open about it so that I can help people. And it's not about just my sex addiction. It's about all addictions. What are you going to do about it? Are you eating yourself to death? Are you drinking yourself to death? Are you smoking so much weed? You have no motivation in life? What are you doing? But I'm here to tell you this. You sit in shit too long, it stops smelling.
Here is the thing, though. Jenny's active sexual life doesn't seem shocking anymore when you learn about her bipolar disorder.
I was bipolar and didn't know it. So my life was boom, 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 boom. Rush, 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 rush. And I wanted to be famous so my mother would love me. Let me tell you guys something. I address everything in this book. Why is that, Miss Lewis? He asked me, where did you get the courage? I got the courage. 2 words. I care.
In her memoir, The Mother of Black Hollywood, The actress admits she was bipolar and depressed for years.
The depression became so natural. I didn't know it was a problem. It was just part of my life.
When did you know it was a problem?
When everybody was dying from AIDS, I had a nervous breakdown. A good friend of mine that I respected said, "I think you need help." And I was like, "Oh, I'm Jennifer Lewis. Nothing's wrong with me." Yes, there was. Being bipolar and depressed for 33 years, let me tell you something. When you get free of that and you learn who you are, you want to live. I ain't got no more time to waste. I'm 61. I got about 30 more summers left. You think you get one?
Can you imagine trying to hold it together in Hollywood with all that going on in your head? 2 words: train wreck. High as a kite 1 minute, then crashing into depression the next. She admits crying herself to sleep most nights, and on other nights she was busy in bed with a gorgeous hunk. Needless to say, her life was one hot mess. But one fact about Jennifer Lewis is that she never gives up on herself. She took the best step by finally getting into therapy.
It took my therapist 5 years to convince me to get on medication. I was like, "Bitch, please, I ain't getting on that bullshit. I'm Jennifer Lewis. You think I'm going to walk around like a f***ing zombie and y'all take my edge? This is what I do."
Let's face it, everyone has 1 or 2 ugly tales to tell about their childhood. And for Jennifer, it was her child abuse.
I was in the church choir, and choirs will visit each other's churches. And I got to ride with the pastor. I was very excited. I was sitting up front, and all of a sudden, coming from the other church, he pulls over and leans over to me. I'm in the passenger seat. He leans over to me, and he starts to kiss me. Well, I gritted my teeth, and then he tried to put his tongue in my... It was so gross and disgusting, and I felt his hands on my breasts. Well, I pushed him away from me. He took everything from me in that moment. God, because he was a man of God. My mother, because after I told her, which I did, we just pushed it down and never talked about it again. And he took my career. Because the question I had asked him before he pulled over was, "Pastor Hurd, do you think I can be a star?" When he touched me inappropriately, he took my mother, God, and my career. He insulted everything that I was, my entire foundation for being alive.
As expected, that experience was traumatic for her. I mean, can you imagine being abused by the very person who preaches to you every Sunday? The irony. And even worse, she never got justice for it.
I was proud of myself when I confronted the pastor of my church for molesting me. I was able to move on. You never forget. And I don't believe in that, "I forgive you."
For Jennifer, that was the beginning of her troubles. The experience affected her faith in God, and for many years, she no longer believed in God's existence. Unfortunately, though, that wasn't her last experience with sexual abuse.
When I think I was 23, a guy came into my apartment in New York with a knife to my throat. I talked myself out of that. It was the greatest performance of my life.
Phew, thank goodness. 'Cause trust me, she already had enough on her plate. Speaking of smooth talking, Jenny got straight up played by a man she thought she was in love with.
He was charming, handsome. He said he had graduated from Oxford University. He said he had been in the Navy SEAL. I'm thinking, my God, God sent the man. I wasn't thinking, oh, if it's too good to be true. It was a romance scam. I was investing in a dream.
Oh yeah, this man was gassing her. Promising the world, blah, blah, blah. We all know how it is when someone's got you all wrapped up. She met Antonio Wilson at the gym.
So he bumped into me as I was exiting the gym. And it happened to be just a happy day. So when he did, I smiled and said, "Excuse me." And he smiled back. He complimented my hair, and I kind of flirted with him. He flirted with me, and we met for coffee.
And let's just say things quickly spiraled from there. She was feeling the guy, and she thought he did too. Well, that was until he scammed her out of a whopping $50,000. And boy, when I say he left her shattered, not only did she lose her love interest, she also got financially abused. But you see, Antonio wasn't just some random dude. He really was a con artist.
I was conned out of $50,000 by a professional con artist.
He searches women online, learns about them, and scams them. Unfortunately for him, this time he messed with the wrong girl. Jennifer was livid. She picked herself up and shared her story publicly.
I kept a private eye on him for 5 years, determined to put him in jail, and I did.
And boy, he eventually did. She took his sorry behind to court, and not only did she succeed in sending him to jail, she got her money back. Jenny may be a lot of things, all right, but dumb ain't one of them, Antonio.
But he wasn't that good, because he always got caught.
Now, let's talk about Jennifer's feisty side. She's had her fair share of run-ins with producers, especially when they tried to pigeonhole her into that stereotypical sassy black woman role. Oh, you know Jennifer wasn't having none of that. She fought for better roles and more respect, and she didn't care who she pissed off in the process.
Well, here's the thing about my career. When the telephone didn't ring, I created my own projects. I didn't have time to go, ooh, I didn't get that because I'm black. Ooh, this didn't happen because I'm black. I ain't got time for that, honey. I am an entity. I serve all. I entertain.
That's why we love her, though, right? She's real, and she's not about to let anyone tell her who she should be. And yeah, there's this funny incident of Jenny's car being stolen right before her Poetic Justice audition.
I got up, I was going to yoga, and the car wasn't there, so I ran down the street looking for it. And the police found it, and there was Taco Bell in the back. That disgusted me more than them stealing the car.
Someone literally stole her car to buy some Taco Bell.
And then they broke the back little window.
Yeah, I wish I was making this up.
My agent called and said, you've got an audition for Poetic Justice with Tupac. I said, I'm not going. It's raining and my window's broken in my car and I'm just not going. And John Singleton was so young then. I said, I'm not auditioning for that kid. She made me go. She really did. I had to drive down the 405 in a storm, a rainstorm, and rain was pouring into the car because the window was broken because it had been stolen. Oh God, that audition was so far away. And I walked in and John Singleton was sitting there. Adorable. I read and then I said, little boy, just give me the job, would you?
Guess who got a role in Poetic Justice, though? Of course, the queen herself.
I'll be doing this post office shit forever.
Don't be cussing around me, boy. Who you think I am, one of your friends? Be glad you got an honest job.
Jennifer is not just an actress or an activist. She also loves traveling. This icon has not only explored the world, she literally sees nature as a life partner.
I married nature. Nature's my husband. And traveling is what I do. Well, this is the migration.
In November 2022, she made a trip to Africa with one of her friends, Lori.
Well, the first leg of the trip, me and my friend Lori went to, Lori Peacock had helped me write my second book. And she wouldn't let me give her money for helping me. I said, then come on, go to Africa with me. And she said, okay.
From Rwanda to Cape Town to Kenya, girl was living the dream.
So there we go, laughing. Oh my God, do we laugh? I went up in the mountains with the gorillas. It was real scary, but it does give you a sense of fearlessness and courage. We're having a good time, you know. We're feeling a lot. We're going where the real people are. I was just taking in the fact that I was back in the Serengeti once again, and I'm walking, and all of a sudden, I had fallen 10 feet. Into a dry ravine full of boulders and stones and sharp rocks. Robin, I fell.
Then, bam! Her right hip took the impact and she couldn't walk for a long time. She really thought she was going to die.
So I'm going into surgery. If anything happens to me under anesthesia, I do not want to be resuscitated. I want my body to be shipped home. And I want to be with my family, my siblings.
She was alone without her family in a foreign country, literally fighting for her life.
I wanted my family so bad, but I couldn't tell them. I did not tell my family.
They didn't know?
What were they going to do, Robin? Fly down there and bring me flowers? I didn't want them to know that their baby sister was in ICU in Nairobi. I told them when I got back to the States.
Did you think you were going to die?
I did.
No one would wish that on their worst enemy. But if there's one thing we have come to learn, it's that Jenny never gives up.
I was so sick. I was so broken. I was in so much pain. But what I never stopped hearing was my soul screaming, whatever this is, Jenny, you'll come back. You'll come back, baby.
She had to learn how to walk again, but she survived it all and came out of the experience even stronger.
I've learned how precious life is and how short it is. The hardest part was the pain. After 3 months, I stopped taking the medication. Because I said, if there's pain, let me feel it so I can fix it. One of the other worst parts was being in a wheelchair.
So what's Jennifer up to now, you ask? Well, sis is still working at 67. She's killing it as Ruby Johnson on Blackish.
I told you to claim her on your taxes like I do all your kids.
What?
I'm technically married to Devontae.
What?
But more than that, she's become a mental health advocate, out here helping others who are dealing with the same issues she's faced. Jennifer has written books, given talks, and she's showing people that you can come out on the other side of your struggles stronger than ever.
Come out of them dark rooms with all that depression. Stop yourself. You go get some help. But you can start by journaling. What do I want? Who am I? And if you don't know, make some shit up.
Oh, and don't you worry about Jennifer's coins. Even after that scam, she's sitting pretty with a net worth of about $2 million. Not too shabby, right? So there you have it, the wild, scandalous, and inspiring life of Jennifer Lewis.